What's up, guys? Dimebot here, and today we're taking a look at Overwatch. You notice the arcade is here. That's right, Mystery Duel Elimination All Brawls Mystery Heroes. Welcome to the new Overwatch. This is the new patch. All the changes from the PTR are live, and surprisingly, a lot of them made it through. I know Jeff Kaplan had said originally that they didn't expect some of the changes to make it through, but they did. So we'll just go ahead and hook Sombra up with some cool stuff here, and then we'll jump on in. Now, the new features, you've got the arcade with one-on-one duels, 3v3 skirmishes, the brawl playlist, and then special rule sets, like no hero switching. So they're going to add this stuff in, or they have added this stuff in, rather, and you can earn rewards for it. So you can get loot boxes for winning games. So it's another way to get some loot boxes. They've also added the Echo Point Antarctica map for Arena. This is where May was frozen. And they've also made a lot of other updates. Now, one of the biggest ones that's going to interest a lot of people is the Season 3 of competitive play stuff. So, competitive play second season is going to end on November 23rd at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And the third season is going to start on the 30th at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so December 1st for the UK. Skill rating is not going to be affected during the off-season. You'll be able to queue for matches using the competitive play rule set still. And the big thing is, they've made some adjustments to the skill rating system for Season 3. Players are going to be distributed more broadly across the tiers, and that means your Season 3 rating will probably be lower than previous season. Now, the reason for this is they said that when Season 2 started, we had more players in the Gold and Platinum skill tiers than we originally intended. This meant that skill levels varied widely for players within those tiers, and some players were achieving inappropriately high ranks during their placement matches. These players typically began the season by having their skill rating adjusted downwards after their first few matches. For Season 3, skill ratings will be slightly lower after your placement matches, allowing them to increase as the season begins. After you play enough matches, your skill rating changes will return to normal. Basically, guys, they're putting us on a curve. They want these skill ratings to be lower because they felt like people placed too high, and they're going to add more weight to them in the beginning of the season, and then they'll gradually slow back down to what they were before. This is to let them, in theory, spread the players out into the more appropriate tiers and actually be accurate this time. So we'll see how that works. Number of general updates here. They've added PlayStation 4 Pro support, done a couple other things. Big one here. The amount of experience needed to reach levels after 100 is now constant 20,000 XP and won't reset after each promotion. Basically, they got sick of you guys getting to level 100 and then just sitting there until a promotion, like the Halloween event, and prestiging, basically, and just getting a whole shitload of loot boxes. They're actually saying that this should make you get more loot chests, over the course of things, but it remains to be seen. The math does work out that you'll be getting loot crates more often. So, some people are not going to like it, some people are. It's just the way it is, guys. So let's move on into the other big thing. Sombra's in the game, and there have been a lot of balance changes. I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights on them. So, dealing damage to things other than players like Jorborn's turrets or Symmetra's teleporter no longer charges ultimate abilities. That's right, you're not going to get ultimate charge by destroying deployables anymore. Ultimate costs have also been increased by 25% for all heroes. They say that this is because game-changing abilities were coming up a bit too frequently. This change helps keep them in check while still allowing them to be powerful. Basically, they're slowing down the game. They're trying to make ultimates more significant. Anna's get a big change. Nano Boost no longer increases movement speed. So what they want to do here is give Anna a reason to Nano Boost other characters, because you would typically see, like, Reinhardt Nano Boosted all the time, or Genji. Without the speed increase, they're hoping that Anna players will choose other targets. Diva has had her call mech cost decreased by 20%. So remember, 25% increase across the board for all heroes, but hers has been decreased by 20%. The mech health has been increased to 200. It was formerly 100. The armor stays the same at 400, and they've also upped her movement speed while firing. It's been increased by 25%. Basically, what they want to do is help Diva withstand attacks and keep pressuring enemies. This is all just to make her fit what they want her to do. Lucio's Amp It Up healing has been decreased by 10%. Lucio has been a go-to in every Overwatch game since the history of the game began. They're nerfing him a little bit because he was performing way higher than everybody else. They said that Lucio's overall healing output has always been on par with, or even higher than, Overwatch's other healers, and his other benefits made him an almost mandatory pick. Basically, they're trying to balance Lucio down. They're bumping his healing down a little bit. May, the Blizzard, the ultimate cost has been increased by 15%. If you remember, they gave it a much larger radius. Apparently, they decided that now it's coming up too often, so they're upping the cost. Mercy, passive health regeneration is going to activate when she avoids taking damage for 1 second now instead of 3. Basically, they're saying that this should allow her to survive more easily when she's evading enemy fire. I think that remains to be seen. Mercy is the only hero in the game that can passively heal herself like that, and she's still very squished, so we'll see how it actually works out. Alright, on to a big one. Pharah. Pharah basically no longer has to touch the ground. They have increased the lift on her thrusters, her jump jets by 35%. There's two other minor changes I'll get into, but this is the big one. Basically, Pharah can now fly indefinitely. The 35% increase allows her to stay in the air much, much longer without having to use the rocket jump. So she can basically stay up there forever. It helps her maneuverability. It should help Pharah a lot. They've also changed the minimum explosion damage on her rockets. They've increased it by 13%, and the explosion knockback has been decreased to 0%. Basically, they're trying to make her more maneuverable and make it feel better to peg people with rockets. 76, the bullet damage for Soldier has been increased from 17 to 20, so he's going to be doing a decent bit of damage, decent bit more damage now from the pulse rifle, and the bullet spread has been increased from 2.2 to 2.4. Now, if you're pulse or burst firing like you're supposed to, you probably won't notice that much, but they're trying to up his damage to make him feel more balanced. And another biggie, Choreborn. He now generates scrap automatically over time. He doesn't have to pick it up from enemies. So to compensate for this, they've decreased the amount of scrap you do get from fallen enemies by 40%. So he can now generate armor on his own without having to run out in the battlefield and expose himself. This should be a big help to Choreborn, even though he's not played a lot at the highest levels of play. For people that are in the lower ranks of the ladder, this should definitely help him out some. They've also increased the swing speed on his hammer by 25%, and they've decreased its damage by 27%. They're basically trying to help him construct his turrets more quickly and help him get armor out more quickly. Widowmaker. So Venom Mine, the explosion is no longer going to damage the player who placed the mine. Thank God, that was stupid. And they've increased the charge rate on Widow's Kiss by 20%. Minor tweaks to Widow, they're just trying to make her more flexible, they say. Zarya, this is a biggie. Particle Barrier and Projected Barrier are both getting a nerf. So the power gained from those barriers is decreased by 20%. So the justification for this is that they felt like Zarya was like mandatory in most situations, and they didn't want to reduce her damage output, so they're actually making it harder to get to maximum power. So it's going to require, timing and skill, as always, to play Zarya. They're just making it so that she's not the mandatory pick. They want her to be able to do that damage. They just want it to feel like a real achievement when you get there. There's a ton of other bug fixes that are going in here, like one that really cracks me up. They fixed a bug that caused McCree bots to combat roll into the well on Ilios. I wish I'd known about that. I would have just sat there and watched it all day long. There's a lot of little bug fixes going in, but the biggies here are that they have added the arcade mode, they've added Sombra, and they've also increased the ultimate cost by 25% for all heroes. All this is going to significantly change the feel of the game. This is definitely going to change the way Overwatch plays. I have been playing it into BTR. I like it. I feel like it's a more fun game. I feel like it's a more nuanced and well-paced version of Overwatch, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody else thinks of it. And that being said, guys, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you like the changes, if you don't like the changes, tell me, and tell me why, because this is a big deal. They're changing a lot about Overwatch, and I want to know what you guys think. Alright, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, I am Dimebot. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe. You can even go check out my Patreon. The link will be up on the screen in just a second, and I will see you next time.